Hello and welcome to our Meet the Artist series. Today I am joined with roster teaching artist Darren Stevenson from Push Physical Theater. So welcome, Darren.
Good morning. Thank you.
So to start us off, can you just kind of tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience as an artist?
Yeah, I started quite young, although I was very shy as a child, pathologically shy. I couldn't have a conversation with people. I found it difficult to communicate on all sorts of levels. And when I was about 13, I had the opportunity to be in a little drama group, and I was terrified. And then go on stage, and I was shaking and sweating and doing all the things you do when you panic. And then there's this moment where I walked out on stage, and the warmth of the audience enjoying what I was doing and laughing at the funny bits, and the fact that I didn't have to figure out what to say to them because I'd already memorized and practiced everything ahead of time. And so I could just do what was written on the page. And it was a revolutionary experience for me, and changed the whole course of my life. So after that, I just started studying seriously and ended up in the US. I was born in England, studied here, met my wife in college. We're both performers, and we started Push Physical Theater together. This is our 20th year doing that, so quite exciting. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, from that, obviously you had some inspiration along the way. I mean, what kind of would you say was your initial inspiration, but even now, like what continues to inspire you to create?
I think what mainly inspires me to create is asking difficult questions. Always our work seems to start with a question. And that really, to me, is what it is that makes art art. There are politicians, religious leaders that have all of the answers. We have scientists who are seeking for measurable truth. But art, creativity, that's the area where the question lies. And we usually don't really know the answer when we start. And so these things come, a lot of the pieces that you see literally come directly from our own lives, and they're about our relationship and having kids and what that's like, and interacting in the world and the ways that people do, and that's sort of the beginning. In fact, the show that we're doing right now is called Generic Male, and it's myself and the other male company member in Push, who is also a generic white English male. So the two of us put this show together to sort of explore some of these themes about masculinity and privilege, and how we hold privilege, how we deal with it, how we abuse it, how it can become, generally always is toxic. And so that's right out of our own experiences in our own lives.
Yeah. And I mean, huge topics, especially right now. And, another thing that's affecting everything is COVID and our ability to create, but also to share what we're creating. And, that's impacted young audiences, our ability to have, programming in schools. We've, had to transition to this virtual. So how has that impacted Push, and how have you been able to continue providing arts programming?
So right here, just like this, we have a spare bedroom at the back of our house that got converted into a little studio. And we've had days where we were teaching college theater majors in Illinois at a college there in the morning, and then we'd be in Oklahoma in the afternoon, and then we would get up at like 1:30 a.m. to teach a class of high school students at a school in Australia. And those have been these really weird days. Mm-hmm. And I think that, for me as an old person, I hate this. It feels very much the antithesis of what my whole art form is. And yet at the same time, I'm constantly amazed at the resiliency and adaptability of young people. And the fact that after a few months, they were like, okay, this is what we're doing. And they're so grateful that you would show up in their living rooms or their classrooms or wherever they're able to gather or not gather and teach them. I've really been just amazed by that side of it, and the ability to interact with people that are culturally far away from each other and geographically very far from each other.
Yeah, I mean, and it's awesome to be able to be in so many places at once, like to be able to do all of that is something that, 5 years ago, I think we would have said, well, obviously we can't do that. We can't, be in Oklahoma and then go across. It's not possible. But
Right.
now, it completely is.
Yeah.
So obviously you talked about it a little bit, the show you have going on, but going into that, what do you have working on, and, what is Push putting out this fall?
Yeah, so we have a generic mail that will be opens on. I'm reading this. There it is, off of the flyer. It is Saturday, September 18th, September 23rd, and September 25th. And that will be here in Rochester at the JCC's Heart Theater, which is a beautiful theater, as part of the Rochester Fringe Festival. And yeah, and that'll be the world premiere of this piece. We started it before COVID, well before COVID hit. We started working on the show, and then we had to stop, and then we waited and we waited, and then we would, have phone calls and do a little writing here and there. But really, this is our work is highly physical and highly interactive. We're throwing each other all over the place and climbing on each other, and you can't do that without being in the same room. So we've just been able to get back to rehearsals, which is hurting me. I can't tell you how painful it is. I'm after sitting on my butt for a year or so, I'm a little bit more fragile than I was. So we're getting into shape for that. And of course, there'll be opportunities during the Fringe Festival to have, post-show receptions. We're having talkbacks with other artists from other shows. So all of that, of course, will be on the website as well. And then after that, we're working with a storyteller named Penny Sterling. Penny is a Rochester storyteller, comedian, and Penny is transgender and transitioned actually later in life. And her stories are beautiful and touching and funny and are really out of this world, and yet at the same time very relatable to somebody like me, that I really am embarrassingly ignorant of what transgender people go through at an existential level, like the actual threat to life that they walk through every single day just by existing. And so the idea of having Push providing Penny's movements and Penny's thoughts and Penny's emotions, and Penny providing the monologue and the spoken word is really exciting. So that's not till next year, but we'll start working on it this fall. So yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And then where can people find you? Where can they find more information about Push and what you have going on?
Yeah, our website is the best place to go. So our website is pushtheater.org. That's theatre, T-R-E at the end, because I'm English. And this is how we spell it over there. So yeah, pushtheater.org. And then, of course, we're all over social media. If people are interested in learning to do what we do, we put out a free web series on our YouTube channel of 12 training videos that show you how to do little bits and pieces of the things that we do. And then we're also putting excerpts of generic mail in rehearsal up on the web as well, so people can find that at our our Facebook page and our Instagram links, and all of that's on our website. Just if you know how to use Google, you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see what Push has coming on. I mean, everything sounds so exciting and really great stories, and exactly I think what we need, especially when we're finally going to be able to come together and get to experience art again. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. This is a great conversation.